Lagos Talks
91.3.
News.
The Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, Zainab Ahmed, says the federal government will do away with petroleum subsidy by June 2023. Speaking during a press conference to mark the end of the 28th National Economic Summit, Ahmed said removal of fuel subsidy is part of the federal government's medium-term plan in the budget, having proposed to spend 3.3 trillion naira on fuel subsidy between January and June 2023. She, however, said that the challenge is how to go about removing the subsidy, which gulped 2.565 trillion naira between January and August 2022 and is putting enormous pressure on the fiscals in addition to budget deficit. Also speaking, the Minister of State for Budget and National Planning, Clem Agba, said that the National Development Plan put together by the federal government will help boost the economy as it is designed to encourage improved private sector participation. The federal government has disclosed that it will train 500,000 Nigerian public servants on digital literacy after evaluating and ranking websites belonging to over 169 MDAs. The Director General Bureau of Public Service Reforms, Dasuki Arabi, who made the disclosure yesterday at the presentation of awards to winners of the best ranking government website in Abuja, said the training shall commence in the early week of February 2023 in Abuja and Lagos, respectively.
The government has come up with structured capacity development program, Smart P, Lead P, to make sure that the performance of public servants is upgraded. Beyond that, as an agency of government, we have been preparing to train 500,000 Nigerian public servants. That means at the federal, state, and local governments on digital literacy, so that they'll be able to have the basic knowledge of digital literacy, and they'll be able to be part of this journey that will take us to be among the 20 public services on the world by the year 2025. Second week of February, we're going to do the first tranche in Abuja here February, second week of February. That we hope third week of March we'll be doing the next one in Lagos. The first organization that came first is ICPC. They have met all the criteria, all the standard. If there is anything beyond number one, we'll have given them. The second one is NIMSI, who coincidentally came first the other year. And on the third grade, we have two agencies that came at the same level, the NDIC and Federal Road Safety Co. The spirit behind this is to get us at the same level, so that we have websites of ministries, departments, and agencies of government with the same color, the same structure, only the content will be different. As we do that, we provide additional services to citizens. We give them access to information on the service that we render.
The Obidati Presidential Campaign Organization has described an article written by Anambra State Governor Charles Soludo on one of his predecessors, Peter Obi, as full of fallacies and personal vendetta. Soludo had, in a lengthy opinion piece on Monday, tackled the Labour Party presidential candidate, adding that Obi knows he cannot win the 2023 presidential elections and is only playing a game. However, yesterday, the Obidati Presidential Campaign Organization, in a statement by its spokesperson, Ndikato, said the Labour Party has bigger issues to focus on. Meanwhile, the Apex Socio-Cultural Organization in Igbo land, the Ohanes Ndigbo, also lashed out on Anambra State Governor Soludo over his comment on the former governor of the state, Peter Obi. There was tight security yesterday at the Rang Palm Township Stadium in Jos, the Plateau State capital, as the presidential candidate of the All Progressives Congress, the APC, Bola Tinubu, and his running mate, Kashim Shettima, flagged off campaigns ahead of 2023 general elections. During his speech, Senator Ahmed Tinubu promised to create opportunities for youths to achieve their potential if elected president in 2023, noting that he was aware of the challenges youths were encountering, but they would become a thing of the past when he becomes president. Tinubu thanked the APC National Chairman, Senator Abdullahi Adamu, for his wisdom in reviving the party, and his campaign director, General Simon Lalong, who in his remarks said that the candidates who flagged off their campaigns in Jos ended up winning the election. The People's Democratic Party, the PDP in Lagos State yesterday held a rally at the Ikeja area of the state to sensitize its supporters on the need to vote the party at all levels in the 2023 general elections. Present at the rally were the party's gubernatorial candidate in Lagos, Dr. Olajide Adediran, popularly known as Jandor, his deputy Funke Akindele, a senatorial candidate in the state, Frank Adewale Gomez, and several other candidates and party executives. The PDP's presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar and his running mate, Governor Ifeanyi Okowa, who were scheduled to be at the rally, however, did not show up. The Director of Compliance for the Atiku Abubakar Volunteer Management Council in Lagos State, Babatunde Olariwaji, who spoke with our correspondent, says the large turnout is an indication of the people's support for the PDP.
When people are determined to do something, you know, even the chairs here are not enough for the number of people that comes around. They sat on the floor. They were ready. You understand me? And when we leave here in the next one, we will still call all these people, all the support group members. They will come. Each time we call them, they will come. We will discuss how we are going to win the election. So they are ready. People are ready generally.
The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, stated on Tuesday in Benin that it had yet to release or update any new list of the People's Democratic Party's PDP candidates vying for state and national assembly elections in Edo State. The news agency of Nigeria reports that there has been controversies following the emergence of different lists of candidates produced from parallel primary elections conducted by the party in the state. INEC had earlier published a list of candidates for the state and national assembly elections in the state, but denied any update after that. Mr. Timidi Warowe, head voter education and publicity at INEC office in Edo State, said the office was yet to receive any new list from its Abuja headquarters. The Inspector General of Police, IGP Usman Baba, said the police commands in Lagos, Ogun and Oyo states will deploy technology-based and tactical assets to forestall kidnappings and other ugly incidents happening along the ever-busy Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. To address these issues, the IGP ordered an immediate restructuring of the security architecture on the road to provide adequate deployment of officers and assets to ensure the protection of lives and property along the expressway. First PRO Olumiwa Dejobi, who made this known in a statement yesterday, said the IGP similarly emphasized that the police leadership is not insensitive to the plight of motorists on the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. In recent weeks, the gridlock associated with the road has become compounded and nightmarish, with kidnapping as unscrupulous elements attack motorists, cut away their valuables and abduct them in exchange for millions of naira as ransom. Former Minister of Niger Delta Affairs, Senator Godswill Akpabio, has said he would approach the Supreme Court to seek redress over the appeal court judgment nullifying his election as All Progressives Congress candidate for Akwa Ibom Northwest in the 2023 election. Senator Akpabio, who is also the vice chairman of the APC Presidential Campaign Council, disclosed this in a statement issued on Tuesday in Uyo. The Lagos State Police Command has arrested 6 Bureau de Change operators who allegedly conspired to abduct an 8-year-old child of their colleague. Disclosing this in a brief statement tweeted on Tuesday, the police PRO in the state, Benjamin Hudai, said the child was released 3 days later, bound in a sack. He stated that preliminary investigation revealed that all the suspects are BDC operators in the same business district in Lagos. He said the suspects whose names were withheld will be arraigned at the end of investigation. You're still listening to the World News. Moving on to the foreign scene. Ukraine's foreign ministry has accused Russia of pressuring imprisoned Africans to join the war against Ukraine. In a tweet, ministry spokesman Ole Nikolenko called on African Union and all African states to demand that Russia stop press ganging their nationals, adding that Africans shouldn't die for Putin's Sikh imperial ambitions. It comes after the death of a Zambian student in the fight against Ukraine. Lamenkai Nirenda, a 23-year-old Zambian student at the Moscow Engineering Physics Institute, had been serving 9 years in jail for a drug offense. Nirenda died in September fighting in Ukraine, but Russia has only now informed Zambia's government. Donald Trump says he plans to run for the U.S. presidency in 2024, vowing America's comeback starts right now. The former president addressed supporters in an hour-long speech at his Florida estate in Mar-a-Lago. Trump has a massive campaign war chest and remains popular with the Republican base. However, he has been blamed for the Republicans' disappointing performance in the midterm elections, with a predicted red wave failing to materialize. To run for president, Trump would have to win the Republican Party's nomination, but others are expected to compete for it. And now to business news. The collaborative efforts of the federal government, the private sector and a civil society group, Convention on Business Integrity (CBI), to curb corruption at the seaports has earned international praise. The collaboration won the first ever Outstanding Achievement in Collective Action Award of the Switzerland-based Basel Institute on Governance. Laolu Akonde, the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, Office of the Vice President, disclosed this in a statement on Tuesday in Abuja. There are joint efforts of the federal government agencies, including Shippers Council, Independent Corrupt Practices and Related Offences Commission, the ICPC, Department of State Services, and the Nigeria Ports Authority, NPA, the Technical Unit on Governance and Anti-Corruption Reforms. The synergy among the agencies and CBI through the Maritime Anti-Corruption Network, the cost of a ship berthing in Nigeria, often aggravated by receipted extortions, has now drastically reduced from $150,000 per vessel that arrives in the country to about $20,000. Finally, to sport news, goalkeeper Francis Uzoho and Cyril Dessers arrived at the Super Eagles camp on Tuesday morning ahead of the friendly against Portugal. 22 players are now in the team's camp in Lisbon. Villarreal winger Samuel Chukwueze is the only player yet to report to camp. The team started their preparation for the game on Monday night in Lisbon. The game is built for the José Alvalade Stadium in Lisbon on Thursday, and kickoff time is 7:45 p.m. Nigeria time. The president of Nigeria Football Federation, the NFF, Ibrahim Musa Gusau, on Tuesday visited former Nigeria captain Henry Nwosu at the Federal Medical Center, Asaba, where the legend has been receiving treatment for an undisclosed ailment for some weeks now. Nwosu, the youngest player in the Nigeria squad that won the Africa Cup of Nations title on home soil in 1980, had been in the hospital for some time now, with top politicians, captains of industry, and football chieftains all showing interest in his health status. Nwosu, a formidable force in the senior men national team of Nigeria in the 1980s, played in 3 Africa Cup of Nations finals, 1980, 1984 and 1988, and was one of the best players of the 1984 and 1988 editions, both of which Nigeria lost to Cameroon in the final.
Lagos Talks
91.3.